We're talking Snapchat Spectacles today. Number 5, Spectacles 5. They're a new iteration of their cameras. They look, I think, pretty much like Spectacles 4, but they're untethered. And we're going to go through what my thoughts about it are, what I think about Snapchat as a company and how they kind of see the future of AR, because for a couple years now, they've been, interestingly, one of the, I don't want to say leaders, but let's say a big player in this market. They've been focusing a lot on the camera. And what's interesting, if you look past like just the Snapchat type of like sending messages with people, Snapchat is a very good example of camera first. It's an app that has realized that an operating system that runs with camera first, they started off with sending pictures and things like that, and then the interface kind of evolved around creating those kind of moments. But they very quickly morphed into this camera first kind of app. And there's lots to learn from them, because if you apply that to an operating system where not just like on a specific application system, but when the operating system itself becomes camera first rather than just like something on the side, I think we should sit up and take notice. And I think it's a very good, I mean, that is precisely what augmented reality is. It's where the camera becomes first, because it's that but really it's not that you're using the camera as an application. It's that you're getting an understanding of the world around you. The context is what you're looking at and what the device is seeing. There's lots more that goes into an operating system more than an application, but that is an example of bringing camera first to kind of like a smartphone way. Snapchat themselves are very focused on more of the entertainment part, so that's not something that I very much, let's say, connect with. But I do appreciate what they're trying to do. Let's talk a little bit let's talk about the device, first of all. So they call it augmented reality. Their big focus is on not taking you away from the world around you, being there, being present. One of their big ads, I'm not sure if it was by them, someone else, but I think they showed it off as people in VR behind these like glasses. And it's kind of taking jest at what VR is, completely blocked off from the world around you. I think also to a direction making fun of like people in smartphones that are also looking at a screen all day, and here is like connecting. It's interesting that they show that this is a better way of socializing than just being in the regular world. I don't think you can beat that, but augmented reality definitely will augment on top of it. So I don't think it's a better, I don't know if I would market it as better than reality. I'd market it as, if you had to choose, it's a very good enhanced reality. I guess what I want to say, I guess the point over here is that like, because when I was watching the thing, okay, maybe this is not a good point to like stick on for so long, but when I was watching that ad, it's like they were almost trying to sell glasses better than reality, whereas what I think they were really trying to do was pit them against virtual reality and like smartphones, which I agree with. Having your head buried in a transparent piece of glass or in a virtual reality in the real world makes absolutely zero sense. But to say that it's better than reality kind of takes a nick at nature. But that's kind of, you do want to get to a place where the glasses kind of go into the background, where you're not focused on the glasses, you're focused on how this is enhancing you and how this world, digital and the real world, is better than just being stuck in the digital world. And it can make the real world better, not as a replacement, but as there's a lot of things that we can add to it. There's a fine line over there that I'm just like, I personally, even though I've worked in this field for a long time now, I still got a little bit uneasy looking at that ad. Glasses still are very bulky. I like the fact that it's untethered. But when you look at it, it's not like it does a crazy amount of things, and it also has 45-minute battery life. So like, it's not like we're at that point where augmented reality is there. And it definitely was an operating system type of thing. Still, their menu, I like that like they connected it with your hands, things like that. But it still did seem like a very kind of like iPad kind of interface in front of you, where I get that issue. I have that issue with Apple Vision Pro, where it hasn't embraced this new paradigm. It's more like, let's just stick a transparent iPad in front of you, and that's kind of how you're going to interact with the device. Again, that's a whole nother concept. That's a whole nother video on the Vision Pro and where I kind of like would stick up for them and say, okay, they're trying to like bridge these two paradigms. But I think, I would like to think that in Steve Jobs' day, he would have jumped into this paradigm feet first and completely made an operating system for that, and not just like a transparent iPad or multiple transparent MacBooks, things like that. It's interesting how they're marketing their device as augmented reality, and devices that you see through as mixed reality, because I call those devices pseudo augmented reality. I don't call them mixed reality. I don't like the term. And you can also see it's confusing here because Microsoft themselves use the term mixed reality, but according to Snap's own definition, Microsoft HoloLens should be augmented reality. It shouldn't be mixed reality because you're seeing through a transparent screen. You're not blocked off from the world and getting feed in. Whereas the Vision Pro, according to their definition, would be mixed reality because you're not actually seeing the real world, you're getting pass-through video. So I don't use the term mixed reality. I use the term pseudo-augmented reality for pass-through video. So yeah, Apple Vision Pro is just like a high-end VR headset which tries to do pseudo-augmented, which uses pass-through pseudo-augmented reality to try to achieve augmented reality. This definitely is more in line with lightweight glasses that has a transparent screen that you see the world. Not there yet, not in terms of battery, not in terms of processing power, not in terms of like how it looks. Still very, very bulky. The images themselves, like the press images, look like they're quite sleek, but when you actually see them on people's heads, you realize how thick the sides are. It's not a knock at them because this is very hard challenge technologically and just physics. Like we haven't yet got to that point where we can fit in all the processing power we need, the optics that we need for a great field of view, for an unlimited field of view, the battery life to have that all day, and all the sensors, all the cameras, all of that. We just don't have that. So I'm not knocking them, but it's not yet at that point of a lightweight pair of glasses. So I will definitely give kudos because they are moving it forward. For me, it's too focused on the social aspect, on the entertainment, which is a great way of getting into this because you have a lot of teenagers, a lot of youngsters who are using a lot of social media, would love to use this. And it's interesting, they started off their keynote in a very Apple kind of like way. In the last couple of years, Apple has started off their keynote, especially when they're introducing an Apple Watch, on the health benefits. Their iPhone events will show how the iPhone helps out, whether it's satellite saving you or things like that, but the health, I think starting with the Apple Watch, they really were showing not just how it's fun, but how it actually can save life and how it benefits and health benefits, things like that. And here they were showing how having a Snap score helps families be cohesive, things like that. My family, we use WhatsApp to share videos and images to keep together. So I can definitely see how that could be, how Snapchat could be used with families, especially with all the filters and all the extra stuff that they do. Whereas images and videos are kind of like an add-on, it's an attachment for WhatsApp. In Snapchat, it's built around that. So like the filters are definitely a lot more fun. And it's built to be media first, camera first. So for augmented reality to do that is great. And they're bringing in a lot of the features. So live translation or understanding what you're looking at, which is built now, which was Google Lens had that. Apple has now built that own, especially with that camera capture. I do another brain stream where I go through like the camera capture and kind of going, okay, it's very, very good for audio and video, and pivoting, positioning the iPhone to be a great media consumption or the best video and camera that you could possibly have. I think this week I just read that they're getting the first like Hollywood grade movie that's entirely filmed on an iPhone, which is not surprising considering the keynotes of the iPhones for now, maybe a bit over a year, have been shot with the iPhone 15. And they kind of like tease that. I think with the iPhone 15 event is when they teased it. So they're getting very good, but I think that also building in visual search is kind of their foray into going, what happens if the camera, the augmented or the computer vision aspect of augmented reality can be a lot easier to access. So Siri's getting a lot easier to access, faster and smarter. The Siri 2.0, whether it's built in with ChatGPT or the actual features that she's getting. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do herself without ChatGPT. But having visual search, the visual aspect of augmented reality, the computer vision built in, would be very interesting to see Apple acknowledging that the camera or the computer vision needs to be front and center for this new world. But Snap has been on that for a while. So kudos to them, kudos to the new glasses, and I'll see you guys in the future.